Hello, everybody. Hello, how y'all doing today? We are live on Facebook and now we are live on Instagram. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? How you guys doing? Well, we are here. I know we're a little bit later than normal, but guess what? We here. Okay. Just pushed it up a little bit to 7 o'clock today. I know it may have caught a little bit of certain people off guard, wondering, are we canceled? Is it still going? Yes, we are here. Yes, we are. So today, you guys, y'all see the face right down here, over here, over here. Okay. We got somebody new, as you can see. And I'm telling you guys, as I always say, you're up for a good one today. And today we're going to be talking about beyond the 401k. Okay. Beyond the 401k. And we're going to be talking about the retirement strategy nobody told you about. Okay. Because I think it was like a few weeks ago, Miss Angeline, who is out today, out of the office today, she brought us somebody to continue the conversation about retirement planning. And boy, is she an expert. Okay. She is the queen of insurance, the phenomenon finance, all of the things that has to do with really financial freedom, getting ready to be work optional. That's what I'm talking about. Come on now. And yes. And so today we're going to be having a conversation about how life insurance can potentially fit into your broader retirement planning and wealth building strategy, and what business owners need to understand before they consider it. And we're going to talk about kind of the foundation of having insurance, as well as how you can leverage it. And I just want to get right into it. For you guys don't know, my name is Katrina Fitton. I am your money coach. I'm the CEO and founder of New Day for You Financial. We help you get to the bag. We help to fund your dreams. And so if you are a business owner and you're like, I want to start a business, I want to buy a business, I want to buy some real estate, you want more cash flow in your business, then go ahead and drop the word funding in the comments and we will reach out to you. You're going to fill out an application and my team will reach out to you and tell you exactly what you need. But let's get to the meat of the matter. Let's go ahead and introduce our guest. As you can already see her lovely, lovely face. This is none other than the Mia James. She is the CEO and founder of Beyond the Business. Okay. She is a financial wellness coach and philanthropist from Eaglewood, California. California. Come on, Snoop. Okay. Currently residing in Brooklyn, New York. Okay. New York. Come on. Yes. You didn't know I could sing, did you? Okay.
I did.
You did not. I know. Okay, but it is her passion, you guys, for holistic health and wellness. As the founder, it is her mission to refine self-care by creating a holistic definition that encompasses emotional, physical, and financial well-being. And so today, she is here to walk us through retirement planning, maybe talk about a little bit about principal protection, guaranteed lifetime income. I mean, just whatever you can talk about, honey. Girl, don't be gatekeeping, honey. Spill the tea. Let us know what it is all about. So without any further ado, let's give some welcome and some love in the chat and welcome none other than the Mia James.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction, Katrina.
Yes.
It's such an honor to be here with you and support you. I just love the work that you do, and I'm just excited.
Well, you know, you had me on your podcast, and you know, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, when did we meet? Because it had to be probably 2 years ago. Was it 2023 that we met?
I think this is 2024, because I know we met in Florida in 2024. Yep.
I'm trying to remember, because we both have the same mentor, Miss Tasha Shin Batts herself. You guys know she was on here about a month ago, and she is a blessing to us, and that is how we come to know each other. I think maybe perhaps you were at the summit or the conference at the end of the year. Maybe if that where we met, where you say, hey, I want to get funding too, right? And you have, a matter of fact, I'm just thinking back, you were a part of the community before we became a school community. Like, you was back then when it was just Zoom, it was just Zoom, and you be like, girl, come on, girl. You was like, I think you my business pastor or something.
Yeah, you were my business minister. I was like, come on and preach to my soul.
Yes. I'm telling you, it is a blessing to have you. I mean, I just remember a few weeks ago when Miss Angeline was talking about retirement planning. You were in the chat listening to the live, and I'm telling you, we was like, wait a minute, we need to get Miss Mia, to come in and share with our audience about insurance, because I'm telling you, you cannot talk about retirement planning and not talk about insurance. And I know people are like, what are you talking about, retirement planning and insurance? Ain't that for when you getting ready to die? I know people are like, when you get ready to die, why are we talking about insurance and retirement planning? That's how you get your notepad. Okay, get your notepad, pull out your iPad, all of the things, because I'm telling you, Miss Mia is going to get you all the way together, and she is going to be spilling the tea and telling y'all what it's all about. So tell a little bit about who you are and how did you get into this, career?
Yes, absolutely. So I say that I was born and raised in California, and I became an adult in New York City, and rediscovered myself in Houston, and started my business and started living my life on purpose.
Wow.
And so, yes. And one of my favorite things that I've done in life is firing my boss at 40 for my 40th birthday.
Now, firing your boss. Come on through.
Amen. Greatest decision I ever made, to step out on faith and, trust the Lord and bet on myself, and started my business. And so I'm all about living a work optional lifestyle. And one of the ways that amen. And one of the ways I believe you can do that is through entrepreneurship, as we know. And so, the work that you do goes hand in hand, because we do need that capital. And what I like to do is educate my business owners, because most of my clients are business owners, on how you can keep more of that capital in your pocket and live a work optional lifestyle from whenever you choose to stop trading time for money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And so I started with actually creating financial literacy curriculum. So I'm an educator. That's my background. I do have a degree in economics, but then I went into becoming a counselor. So I have a degree in economics and a degree in counseling. And
my degree is in economics.
I remember that. Yes, we have a lot in common.
Yes, we do.
And so I actually combine those two things, because as Dave Ramsey says, money is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. And if we don't have this aligned, then it is going to be difficult for us to get into financial freedom. So we have to have that mindset alignment. So I do use my counseling degree quite a bit. I didn't think I would as much, but I do. So I started out with financial curriculum. And then one day my now business partner says to me, well, when you're teaching people all this stuff, how do you help them set up the strategies you're teaching them? And I'm like, Well, I don't. I was just like, I just tell them what they need to do. Right. And she's like, let me show you how you can give them a full and total experience. And so here I am with Beyond the Busyness, helping people every day.
Wow, that is amazing. You know what? And that's how I got my certified as a financial coach through Dave Ramsey as well. So just, man, all of the things, and I think that our vision and what we are trying to achieve as our assignment is the same. It's all about educating people financially and helping them from a financial psychology, perspective, because it does start in the mind. I mean, I have a curriculum that that leads my financial education part of I have another business called Master Your Mind and Your Money that I do financial coaching, and it's master your mind and then you master your money. And, I've always quoted that you don't have a money problem. You have a mindset problem. Amen. Because if you can get that mindset together, the money will follow for sure. So That is amazing, amazing, amazing. So what the conversation that I would love to have today, Miss Mia, is really all about, when we are planning for retirement, a lot of times people think of, okay, I got my 401k, I have my, my IRA, my individual retirement account. I have, something in the stock market, that's preparing me. I have my pension from my job. These are the top things that people think about when they think about retirement, right?
Yep.
But you have a little different twist on how life insurance really can be a part of a retirement strategy. So you need to break that down, because it's like, I need you to clear this up. Like, what is this all about?
Well, I am so glad you asked, because this is my absolute favorite thing to talk about.
Yes.
So, like you said, we all are familiar with 401ks, IRAs, for everything with a 4 in front of it. I call it 4s, 403bs, 457s, deferred comps, all these things, right? We're all familiar with that. And what I like to say, because, I'm sure many people who are watching today are business owners. We have to think not only about profit, retirement, but we also need to talk about tax diversification, which Miss Angeline talks about.
Yes.
And so the other thing we have to think about is, if you have all your money tax deferred, remember, you're putting in seeds, right? But by the time you get ready to withdraw, you now have a forest, and you might be in a higher tax bracket than you are today, because historically taxes have not gone down. So if you're like, Katrina and I, you're about to be a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, or gazillionaire for that matter, and you're getting ready to withdraw $1 million a year to live on in retirement, we have to consider, if all of that money is tax deferred, you're not going to be able to enjoy that entire $1 million that you withdrew. So when we think about our tax buckets, I'm just going to break this down real simple. It's 3 tax buckets, and you all might already know this, but just in case we have any new people here, you have your tax deferred, which is like your traditional, like 401ks, traditional IRAs. You have your tax as earned, which is like capital gains. So like, let's say you sell a property and you don't go into another one, or you sell some stocks for a profit, right? And you get taxed. You may get taxed on that if you don't have losses to offset it. And then you have tax advantage. And a lot of folks don't operate in that tax advantage, because I look at people's numbers every single day. And I'm like, you are very heavy over here in this tax deferred. And so let's diversify this and get you some money where when you withdraw 100,000, you actually get the entire 100.
Exactly.
So we look at, okay, well, what is in that bucket? You have Roth IRAs, you have municipal bonds, and you have cash value life insurance. Now, here's the deal. With a Roth IRA, anything that has the word retirement in it, okay, means that you're not supposed to touch it until you're 59 and a half, or there could be penalties and or taxes. Right. But what if you're like me? What if you want to retire at 40 or 45 or 50?
Period.
Because a lot of people don't want to retire at 59, 60, 65, 70. Some people want to retire sooner and enjoy more of life while they got their right mind and the use of their limbs.
Yes.
So with cash value life insurance, you actually don't have a time limit on when you can touch the money. You literally just need to fund it. So
wait a minute, wait. You said that too fast.
Okay.
I need you to repeat that. What did you just say?
You do not have a time frame on when you can touch it. If the money is available and you're 40 and you're retired, you can just withdraw it for the full amount that you want to withdraw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is powerful. Do you guys know that? Put that in the chat. Did you guys know that? Say that again.
So with cash value life insurance, you don't have to wait till 59 and a half to touch it. As long as it's funded and you have the money available, because you do have to have money available. It's not going to be like you started it and then tomorrow you can withdraw.
Yeah.
It's more of a mid-range type of solution. So you do want to put in for at least, 10 years or so. I mean, you will have money before 10 years, but if you want to really see growth, I would say at least 10 years. And you can be pulling out lots of money. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. I mean, because I just found out about this also a few months ago, where it's something called the Rule 55. So for those who do have our for 401ks, if you get laid off or fired or leave your job at 55, you retire 55 plus. Between 55 and 59 and a half, you can literally also draw your money without a penalty. Now, you will have to still pay taxes, okay? But you can draw it without a penalty. And that's something nobody really talks about as well. I don't know if you guys know that. It's called the Rule of 55.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Yeah. Nobody talks about that. But obviously 59 and a half, you still got to pay tax. Because it hasn't, they need their part. Okay.
Uncle Sam is always going to come for your money. However, depending on how your business is structured, okay, I would just say that you can actually pay for your life insurance and it can be a tax write-off for your business. So say you made a bunch of profit, right? Now, again, anything with life insurance, there is qualifications. So of course, everyone may not necessarily qualify, but if you do, you may be able to actually pay for premiums and get a tax write-off, which then brings your tax liability down while you are now saving for retirement. And then you can withdraw the money tax-free.
Wow. Man, she is hot. Like, she didn't drop the gems at the beginning. I'm just already dumbfounded, you guys. So let's just back it up a little bit. So let's talk about insurance. So business owner, they just started their business. What type of insurance do you recommend that they have? Obviously we're talking about retirement, but I want to make sure that we have the foundation in place as well. What type of insurance do you recommend? Obviously, I know it depends on what type of business, right? Because if you are a trucking company, obviously you're gonna have to have fleet, commercial, car vehicle insurance and all that. But just a normal home business, like what kind of insurance do you recommend?
Sure. So one of the basic types of insurance for a business owner is general liability. So the purpose of general liability is, let's say someone is interacting with your business and, someone falls or something like that, or there's some type of bodily injury involved, property damage, because let's say you do live events and there's property damage, you want to have that covered so it's not coming out of your profit. Any financial loss due to basically, like, say you're a coach and you give advice or something like that. Like for me, I have to have it. It's either called professional liability or errors and omissions. So let's just say you give someone some advice and they say, oh, well, this, you told me to do this and I lost all this money and I wasn't supposed to lose this money. And let's just say, God forbid, someone gets sued. Well, if you have this type of insurance, it'll help to cover some of your legal fees.
Yeah.
You can also have like special event coverage. Again, that's, if you do, some event spaces require you to have general liability and specific event coverage too. So it really just depends on what you're doing. Cause like I have a client who she has to have one policy for the venue and one policy for the parking lot in case something happens to the cars. So it can get very nuanced depending on what you're doing. Yeah, very nuanced.
You know what? That is something I've never really thought about. That is okay. Yes, this is good. So not only do you need general liability, right? And I always recommend general liability, right? That's kind of like the catch-all kind of. But then you have to think about what are you doing in the business to be able to know what type of insurance you need and how much you need. And so I never thought about, when you're having an event, they want to know, obviously, okay, do you have insurance? I understand that, but the parking lot?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yes. So I have a client who rents spaces to host basketball games, right? And so they have to have, coverage for the players and the facility. So it's very, you want to be as detailed. If you're getting insurance, you want to be as detailed as possible with the agent so they can make sure they get you proper coverage. Like, for example, if you conduct most of your business online, you can get a cyber incident rider. So if anything happens with files, because a lot of times, we deal with sensitive information. So you want to make sure you're protected in case of any like data leaks or anything like that. So
you know what? That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Ms. Mel, because I think we have general liability, we have omissions, just in case there's any mistake or in anything that we print or do or say, as well as the cybersecurity.
Excellent. I'm glad you have that one.
Then I think another good one, I don't know if you was going to recommend this one, is the key man insurance.
Oh, yes. That's coming soon.
Huh?
I said, yes, I'll be talking about that shortly.
Yes. So yeah, it's just making sure you guys, and again, I know people are like, well, I'm pre-revenue, or I haven't made revenue yet, all of these things. But again, you guys, that's why you need funding. Okay. This is why you need funding, because you want to have the proper things in place in order to do business in decent and in order, right? You don't want to do things where, you're not covered. That's the whole purpose, in my opinion, of having an LLC, because you won't limit your liability, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And, if you do get these insurance coverages for your business, they're tax write-offs. So
write-off. Come on now.
Hello, bring your tax liability down. So why not, cover yourself, right? Get your trademarks and things of that nature, because you want to protect your intellectual property at all.
Property, yes, protection, all of the protections.
Amen. And I'm the protection queen. I had a friend tell me one day, well, if anything ever happens, I want it to happen with Mia because she has every insurance on the face of earth. I was like, now I don't want to use the insurance. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah.
But another one that people do not think about, and it's a dual, is two parts to it, is disability.
So yes.
What we don't understand, let's say your sole income is based on you doing something, showing up, giving a service, or providing a product. What if you can't do it anymore? That now stops your revenue potentially. So I call disability income protection, because, God forbid you can't trade time for money or deliver a service. You want to make sure you have at least some of your income coming in. And along those lines, there's also business overhead expense insurance. So if you become disabled and you can't pay the bills to run your business, if you have business owner expense insurance, it can help cover salaries. It can help, not your salary though, as the CEO or founder, but it can cover employee salaries. It can cover, overhead costs and things of that nature if you are not bringing in revenue because of a disability.
Right. So go back. What kind of insurance was that? Business expense insurance?
Business overhead expense.
Overhead expense.
Yep. So that's another one. If you have a brick and mortar, obviously you want to have commercial liability for the property. And in certain instances, there's clauses. So again, you have to understand the clauses. Thank God for Claude and ChatGPT nowadays. But you also want to make sure if you do, you have equipment and things of that nature, that's covered in the policy as well.
Yeah. Is that warranties kind of, or is this a separate?
This is separate. So this is like commercial, like property insurance.
It's just in case there's a fire or is that kind of what you're speaking of?
Yes, not because
operation of the equipment, but protection to be able to replace in case of loss or stolen.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, and then as you mentioned, key man or key employee insurance. Now that one can potentially be a tax write-off, but again, it depends on how your business is structured. So in that instance, let's say that a lot of times, like say you have a partnership, right? And both of you are vital to running the business. So you both can have key employee insurance on each other. So in case of premature death, or in case someone wants to sell their portion of the business, or whatever have you, the partnership maybe doesn't necessarily work out. Or let's just say you have a corporation, right? And you have a CEO of your business and you want to make sure if something happens to them, you have money to replace this person, right?
Yeah.
So in the event, like maybe you want to buy them out, right? If they pass away, or if there's cash value in that policy, you're able to either buy them out with either the cash value or the actual death benefit. So it helps to prevent, like in that time, that gap where you don't have that role fulfilled. It will help to, kind of float costs until you can replace that person.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Man, I'm telling you, we got the chat. I am Miss Maddie just saying, I don't know, but this ability to access this before 59 is such an important distinction. She's taking notes. Okay. I know that's right. Taking notes. Thank you for commenting, and thank you for joining us tonight. So those key. And so what I heard, we got general liability. We had the equipment insurance. We have, insurance when you have an event, making sure that you're covered. We got the key man insurance or key employee insurance. We got the business overhead expense. We have the cybersecurity insurance. We have, what was that? Omission. I know I got something.
Errors and omissions. What is it? Errors and omissions.
Errors and omission insurance. And then obviously if you have a brick and mortar, commercial insurance, you have a car that you use commercially, or trucks, or all of those things. You want to make sure that they are insured, just like your car, personal car, your home, all of those things. You want to have those things insured because, as lives.
That's right.
And it usually come when you least expect, and you don't know it's going to happen, right? So when you're in an accident, it's like, okay, you didn't know that was fixing to happen, right? But you're glad that you did have that insurance. And it's the same thing about, life insurance. We know that we are, one day something is going to happen, and that life is taken unexpectedly. Having that life insurance, having, disability insurance where you're incapacitated in some way, some illness that takes you out, where you can't, operate in the way that you normally would. You want to have those type of insurance, just like workers' comp. I mean, it's just all of these insurances are very, very key. But for retirement, so let's get into this cash value. So what do you mean when you to walk us through what is this cash? I know it's a lot of different types, whole insurance, there is IULs. I mean, it's just so many different types of insurance. And I think it's so many different levels as well. So talk to us about it. So how can we have a business and we want to make sure that we are prepared for retirement. What are some of the first steps and how can we start this process, Miss Mia?
Sure. So to keep it simple, I always like to break life insurance down into two different types. So you have term insurance and permanent insurance.
Oh, okay.
Now, under permanent, that's when you start getting to a whole bunch of different types. So term has its place, but with term only pays out about 1% because guess what? We don't know what day that we're going home to see the Lord. So
yes, but if you are on a budget, where you don't have a lot of additional discretionary income stuff left, then term insurance is perfect for you, especially if you have a big family and it's
yes,
insurance. This is $25, $50, $75, is very, very 1% of the policy.
Right. So it pays out about 1%. So I just like to let people know because a lot of times they're not aware that, so a lot of people think it just goes away right after the 10, 20 or 30-year term. However, it's not that it goes away. It's just that because you're 10, 20, 30 years older, right? Then the premium is no longer the same, right? Especially if you wait 30 years, say you get a policy when you're 30 and now you're 60. So your premium has skyrocketed. And a lot of times if you're on a fixed income, you can no longer afford that premium. So that is what gets folks a lot of time, especially if they intended to be insured for the remainder of their life. With a permanent policy, and I'll kind of tell you some of those, some of those types. So you have whole life, which most people are most familiar with. Now, whole life is most expensive because of the different guarantees that it has. There's IULs, just like you said. There's variable policies. Those are connected directly to the market. And then there's final expense. So final expense is usually $25,000 or less. So just for funeral or cremation costs. So with that, the permanent coverages do accumulate cash value. So how it works is this. Oh, and then Lucy said over here, she said, I know people who had term insurance and their terms ended and they died later and there's no money.
Oh my God. Yeah. You guys, you gotta, it's not handling your business, right? You have to stay on when they send you those letters and they're saying, hey, you might want to, because you're getting older, you might want to transition your term to whole, you know, and you have to take advantage of it because as you get older and your life expectancy, you're getting closer to that life. What are the life expectancies now? I think they've changed. What are the life expectancies now?
Yes. So for men, last time I checked, and it could be even higher, it was 72. And for women, it was 75. And
so when you get closer to those numbers, the insurance go up. Why? Because they're at risk of being able to, execute on the policy. So that's why it's very important. I just remember, girl, my mama, quick story. Girl, my mama, she would always, old people, Lord, they just like, get you some insurance. Girl, they got insurance on everybody. Okay, like you get some insurance, you get some insurance, you get some insurance. And you already know, you used to remember that insurance guy coming by the house. Y'all too young. I know y'all don't know nothing about that. The insurance person used to come to the house, y'all. I know the kids don't know nothing about that. You remember that, Miss Mia?
I don't. Well, my parents said that they did have somebody come to the house for them. Yeah.
I just remember I was little, but the insurance guy used to come by the house every month to collect their payment. For real. Yes. They used to come by the house to collect their payments. And yes, they had insurance policies on everybody. But yeah, it is very, very important to have insurance. And so my mom was always saying, even though you may have a 9 to 5 and you have life, insurance policy with your job, you also want to have a life insurance policy outside of your job as well.
Mm-hmm.
It just like 401ks, the same thing. You want to have another additional multiple passive incomes and streams and things going on. You guys, you want to diversify, like she said earlier. You want to make sure you have that life insurance at the job, but you have a life insurance policy outside of your job.
I'm so glad that you said that, because, everyone is like, oh, I'm fine, I have life insurance at work. But I'm like, well, one, what if you leave that job?
Yep.
What if, and it's not portable? Because I shredded, no joke, 5 life insurance policies, because our generation changes jobs. Like,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, or when you retire, I know that happened to one of my former mentors. He said that, he had a very substantial life insurance policy. And when he retired in his 60s, he could no longer afford to get a new policy that he had, that, because he got it when he was like 25. Of course, you're 60, it's not going to cost the same. So he couldn't afford the same amount of coverage.
Oh my God.
Nobody tells you that.
Let's just stop right there, because I think that is key, you guys. Okay, you guys, for you guys who have a 9 to 5 and you have your business, or if you have a business, please, how can I say this? Please, I beg you, get you some life insurance. I don't care if you have to go get a term life insurance. Just get you some insurance. Please do not do the GoFundMe. Like, please, please, please. I don't care what age you are. I know you're like, oh, I'm just 25. Oh, get life insurance on your children, on your adult children. Make sure everybody has a policy. Even if you're a child, a baby, like, get insurance. I don't know how young you can do to get insurance. Is it no age?
15 days, as long as 15 days old with a Social Security.
Oh my God, 15 days. Okay. So get insurance on your children, get insurance on your spouse, get insurance on family member that can't afford insurance. Just get insurance. Okay. Get all of the insurance policies. And matter of fact, get all the insurance policies. And if you need help, I know you probably was going to say this in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and do a commercial break right here. I'm going to go ahead and put her link here. Go to beyondthebusiness.com, beyondthebusiness.com. Go to www.beyondthebusiness.com, because I just want to make sure that we do better in this area. I want to make sure that we are fully funded and fully covered. Come on now.
I love it.
Do a collab. Fully funded, fully covered. Okay. This is what we need. Okay. Somebody go to I'm telling you, write it down. Do a screenshot, whatever you got to do. Those that are listening to the replay, go ahead and go Beyond the Business. Okay. Beyondthebusiness.com. All right. All right, now that was the commercial break, because I'm telling you, we need help in this area. I'm telling you, it's like, there are certain, people, they just don't make it a priority because they think they're going to live forever. And we just say, oh, well, I can't afford it. Or you cannot afford not to have coverage. Am I right, Ms. Mia?
You are absolutely right, because like you said earlier, 100% of us will pass away at some point. And really the thing is the value, because we don't have a problem paying $500 a month for a car note. We don't have a problem saving it for the vacation. But when we think about, what are your values, right? Do you want to be able to enjoy retirement, or do you want to have to get a part-time job because you didn't save enough for retirement? Because the real thing is that we're in a retirement crisis right now, because people in our country haven't saved enough, because you're putting money into if let's just say, you have a job and you're putting money into a 401k. How do you know if it's enough? You don't know how much you're going to end up with once you finish work, because there's no guarantee unless you have a pension. Right. And the other thing I would say about that is, especially, if you're a legacy builder, right?
Yes.
You're never, unless you get, like say, for example, you get a $500,000 policy. Mm-hmm. And even if you paid $100,000 into it over the span of your life, there's nothing else where you could put in $100,000 and guarantee get $500,000 out. Nothing.
Period. Drop the mic right there.
That, you know what I'm saying? Return on investment right there. It's not an investment. Let me just say, but just your return on what you put in is substantial especially for the next generation, or with you using the living benefits of a permanent policy, because the permanent policies have benefits that you can use while you're alive. Like, for example, long-term care, because we don't talk about that. What if you have a catastrophic illness and you need either in-home care, you need to be in a nursing home?
Oh my God.
People, I always ask people, do you want to use your assets dollar for dollar? And they say, what do you mean by that? Let's say you need to go into a nursing home, because this is a real life example. Okay. This is a real example that I'm dealing with right now. They in California paying $8,000 a month. Because of the person's assets, they have to pull out of their savings account every month $8,000, because there's no long-term care, plus pay the mortgage and every other bill, even though they don't even live in their house, because they live in a nursing home.
Girl.
But if they had long-term care, you could take the burden off your savings account, let the insurance pay for it, and you still have your nice savings account for, whatever else you want to use it for, or pass it on as an inheritance. So why don't we protect our assets? If we thought about it as we're protecting our assets, we're protecting our wealth, I think I would hope people see a different value in it versus it's another bill.
Yeah, man, you have dropped another bomb. I'm telling you. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So we got whole insurance, we got term insurance, but we need the disability insurance, and then there's long-term care insurance. And with me going through with my mom, and thank God, she had retirement set aside. Thank God she was in a good financial place, because then that would have, really land on the family, right? To help. And then obviously, in order for Medicare to pay for things, you have to literally not have a home, not have no assets, not have no money before they'll help you, almost. So it's a situation, so I just really want everyone who is listening to us today, live or on the replay, to go to www.beyondthebusiness.com and speak with Mia and her team, and how you can have so how can they work with you? So like, how does the process start? Do you have like some type of assessment, or like how can we work with you?
Absolutely. So when you go to my website, it's going to say work with me, and it's going to take you to a quiz. So it'll ask you some questions it'll ask you about retirement. Absolutely. But, we can definitely talk about insurance. But I approach everything from a holistic standpoint, because nothing works in isolation. Everything is one big picture, right? So if I'm helping you with your finances, I want to make sure, your debt is low. You have an emergency savings. Like, I want to make sure you're good all the way around. So you'll take the assessment, you'll set up a complimentary consultation. And then in that consultation, I'm just going to get to know you, get to understand what your goals are. What is your timeline for work optional living? And then, if you need coverage of any type, then we'll talk about, okay, what are your coverage needs? So from there, if you decide to move forward, I present you with a proposal based on what your needs and goals are. And then, of course, we're going to talk about, what is comfortable for you financially, because what happens is, I want to make sure you have adequate coverage, but I also want to make sure that you can maintain it and not lapse, because if you keep lapsing policies, you may not be eligible for coverage. So, it's something that I want to make sure that you can afford and maintain, but also making sure that you have sufficient coverage. So we meet in the middle there. We do an application and you go through a qualification process. So it's insurance. Well, this aspect of insurance is based on age and health, right? Yeah. There's another side of insurance that's more so for retirement that has nothing to do with age or health. It just has to do with the amount of capital you have available. So you can actually create your own pension or guaranteed lifetime income.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Back it on up. What you said?
You can create your own pension.
Create your own pension. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
Sure. So let's just say you had a 401k and you had $500,000 in it. And you were like, you know what? I want to protect this principal from market volatility. Because, once you get to a point where you may not be bringing in revenue or income, let's just say, you want to protect those assets. You can't afford to have a 20-30% drop. If the market does a correction, that's going to impact how much you can withdraw over time. So instead of having to worry about that, you can actually protect the principal, meaning it will never drop below that amount. Put in 500, you got the 500. It's not going to drop down. Now, you have two options. You can either go the growth option where you're like, I don't necessarily need it right this moment, but I can let it grow for a few more years. Or you can go the income route. So it's either growth or income. If you're at the point where you need income, that's where we call it your own personal pension. And you can, get, well, let's see. I have a client, like I think she put in 300,000 and she gets out 2,500 a month guaranteed for the rest of her life, even when the principal depletes. So even if she collected the entire 250,000 or 300,000, she would still get the 2,500 a month.
So how does that work?
So it's a contract that you enter in with an insurance company. So and that's what they do for pensions. It's the same thing they use for pensions. It's just that you're setting up your own.
Gotcha. Oh my, that is an interesting. That is interesting. So how is that different from the IUL? Because I think the IUL isn't that. I know you're protected as well, and then tax shelter. So talk to me about the difference between this pension or for growth or income versus an IUL.
So both are insurance products and both have death benefits, but the IUL is like traditional life insurance. And it tracks an index.
I remember index.
Index and
life. Was that Index Universal Life? I think.
Yes, Index Universal Life. And it tracks an index and it grows cash value. And then you have your death benefit connected to it. And it also can have riders. And riders are living benefits. So things you use while you're alive. So they can have like a terminal illness rider, which means you have 12 months or less to live. A chronic illness rider. So chronic is something that's like an ongoing condition. Critical illness like heart attack, stroke, cancer, or long-term care. And if you have any claims in any of those, you accelerate the death benefit. So if you do take money out, it will decrease your death benefit, but you can utilize it while you're alive. Now, on the flip side, with the personal pension, we'll call it, that has nothing to do with your health or age. Like if you have $1 million and you want to turn it into guaranteed lifetime income, you just have to pass suitability. And suitability is you have to have a certain amount of liquidity because you're in a contract. So if you try to withdraw the money before the contract is up, there will be surrender charges. because you have entered in, with a contract, there's penalties, right? If you withdraw. But if you just keep getting your monthly amount, you're fine. You can just keep collecting for the rest of your life. Now, if let's just say, God forbid, you just get one payment and then you pass away. Well, all the money that's left is now a death benefit.
No.
So in some pensions that I've read from clients, if they only collect one payment, there's no death benefit going to their family. I was like, whoa. When I first learned that, I was like, oh my gosh, you worked 40 years. And if you only collect one payment, your family gets nothing. So you have to be careful if you do have a pension, how you fill out the paperwork. Like I advise, if you have a husband or wife or whatever, you have to make sure you do joint survivor. It's less of a payout, but at least they get something. Or if you don't have a spouse, you have to put, you have a beneficiary. So that stuff is important to understand.
Yes, that is so important. Girl, I'm telling you, haven't this been good, you guys? Oh my God. I mean, I'm telling you, it seemed like the time has passed so fast, you guys. So I'm telling you, I know a lot has been said today around how you can leverage insurance as a retirement strategy. We've also talked about all of the different types of insurance that you need as a business owner. So please, please, please go ahead and follow Mia at Beyond the Business on her IG or Facebook, as well as follow money coach Katrina Fitton, and share this episode, you guys. Share this episode with someone else that you know who, hey, whether they have a business or they don't have a business. Because I know I just want to make sure that we are prepared when it comes to life insurance, that we are fully funded and we are fully covered. Okay. Yes, indeed. So go ahead and go to www.beyondthebusiness.com. And she said, go to work with us, fill out the what is it, a questionnaire, and her and her team will contact you and walk you through and find out a little bit about your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, and they will help you to put you in a good place so you can be in peace. Okay, in peace. And so Ms. Mia, thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you busy out in these streets, you traveling from here and there, helping and serving your clients, spending time with your family, doing all of the things, living that life. Okay, that dream life. And so why don't you, any last words you want to share with our audience and, about this topic or something that you may have coming up, anything of that nature, where they can follow you, anything?
Sure. So I would say whatever you do, do not wait, because waiting costs you more in this scenario, right? Time, especially when it comes to money and compounding, like compound interest and all of that, or even if you decide to go the insurance route with premiums, the younger and healthier you are, the more affordable it will be. However, I want everyone to just take away, what can the value be for your business, for your family? Because I don't want anyone to think of it as another expense. I want you to think of it like, how can it enhance my portfolio and enhance my life? So you can follow me on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Beyond the Busyness. And Tina, can you let them know how to follow you? Because I have folks that are watching on my Instagram and they need to contact you about funding.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We are on Instagram, Money Coach Katrina Fitton. That's Fitten. We are the Funding Queen on YouTube, and we are New Day for You Financial on Facebook. And we are here as a business owner. If you are trying to buy a business, buy a property, you are trying to grow and scale, start your business, you need working capital, you need the cash flow, then go ahead and drop the word funding in the comments. or you can just really go to New Day for You Financial. Click on where it says to apply here. Myself and my team will reach out to you the same way, just really talking with you and seeing what your goals are and putting the funding strategy in place and getting you the money that you need so that you can live the dream. Okay, we fund dreams. Okay, so well, thank you so much, Miss Mia, for coming and sharing. Oh my God, I feel like we need to just replay this again. It's like, oh my God, let's listen to this replay because it was so many bombs and jewels and things that you drop. I mean, I even learned a ton today, you know, about this pension thing. I'm gonna have to most definitely be giving you a call on that one. And just all of the things, you know, that my business needs with an event and all of that. And so I most definitely will continue to keep you in my Rolodex. Y'all don't know nothing about that. We'll keep you on as our favorite in our phone and always reach out to you. And, you know, hey, come into our community. Maybe you can come and spend some time. I think I want you to come back again and speak inside of the community. You guys know we have She's Fully Funded Club. If you want to be around people like Mia, myself, other business owners like Miss Angeline, she'll be back on next week. Drop the word CLUB Club and join the club. We meet every Friday. And, you know, we have 3 levels that you can join and how you can show up. But we're here to help you in your business. You don't have to be on an island by yourself, you guys. You need to hang around people that are going somewhere. I'm telling you, it rubs off. And before you know it, you be like, you know, it's like you have a blueprint. You have people before you and help you and keep you excited about your dream and your vision. And so that's what it's all about. So, well, until next time, you guys, thank you for joining us today at The Girl. You better mind your money. Miss Angeline will be back next week. Until next week, we'll see you next Wednesday at the same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you next week. God bless. We are trying to end this stream. Come on, stream button. There we go. In the Instagram. There we go. My God, today. There we